Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome into another episode of Keeping Up With the Kardashians After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV, the season finale. This year we are talking Unforeseen Future. Tonight I'm Bobby, that's Nick, and Frankie across the table from me. Sterling is out again. She had family in town, so we're gonna miss her a couple weeks in a row. That's okay, we'll make do. Guys, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, Bobs. How you doing?
You guys got real quiet. All of a sudden, you were real talkative before the show. Red
We're
light
giving
goes
you your
on.
intro.
I just
God
expected
forbid I step on your intro.
somebody to make a joke, somebody to do something. How was
that we're a little somber, you know?
I know. I have a nice, sweet speech coming at the end of the show that I've been rehearsing all week.
No, you don't.
I thought about it in the show.
Okay, I want you to get. I'm excited. Then.
Yeah, I'll give.
I'll remind you of it.
Extemporaneous, you know,
Great.
For the fans, not for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Screw you guys. Unforeseen Future tonight, which, hey, story of my life, am I right? Where do you...
I can't.
What?
Am I right?
Where do you guys want to start? I want to start with Kendall and Kylie in Australia and the jealous sister thing and all that stuff. And the first one, the emotional moment of the night.
Wait, can we... Did you already introduce us?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Wow.
No, you didn't tell them where they could follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat.
I'm sorry, you can follow
Grava.
everybody here. Everybody here, you can follow at Bobby DeMuro. Listen,
wow, you got funnier this week.
Kendall,
Oh.
That's like the second time I've laughed in a minute, and I never laugh at when you're. But keep going.
do you want to fight right now?
Literally anytime, any day. But that's
okay, Kendall and Kylie in Australia, because the Academy Awards are coming up on Sunday. Frank, you got to pay attention.
I'm listening.
You weren't when I introduced you.
She's Snapchatting.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to retweet for our show.
Because the Academy Awards are coming up on Sunday, I think we should give out our Kardashian Academy Award tonight.
Clever!
And that goes to Kylie.
Literally.
For her moment when they were talking about Australia, and she goes, yeah, it's like cool.
Yeah, it's like really cool.
It's really
She didn't even smile. It's actually hard for me to even pretend to not be excited. Like, just thinking about it, I get more excited than she actually was.
Australia's cool. Any travel is like, let's be real. If you're traveling for the reasons they travel, like, it's cool. Even
Unless
if you do it a lot.
you get sick of it. Maybe it just becomes like, you're like, oh, I wish I was just home next week, and no, I gotta be this bum.
Then don't say it's cool. Like, you gotta at least, if you're gonna say it's cool and you know you're on camera, then you gotta sell it a little bit.
She never does. That's the one. I mean, maybe she's the most real in a sense because she does not put any effort, even into her confessional. She's like, yeah, and we talked and we're fine now. It's like, what?
Yeah, her vocabulary. Well, not vocabulary, but yeah, her sentences are limited.
The contrast of her Snapchats.
Yeah.
And her personality. I mean, a lot of it is just like, like whatever that is. But she actually has a little bit more personality with her friends and things like that than she does with her family on the show.
Yeah.
It feels like she's contractually obligated to be there.
Which is normal for, like, parents. Like, when she's around Chris, I get it. But, like, around Kendall, like, y'all are almost twins, you know? Like, you guys have grown up together and done everything together. Come on.
I agree.
Now, I will say, in the contrast to Kylie, Kendall has come out episode after episode for me and impressed me more and more and more this entire season.
Tell us
Kendall
why, Bobs.
Was girlfriend material in this episode. She looked better. I mean, walking down the like.
She did look fabulous in the show.
And in Australia, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you watching, catch me on Bumble.
Catch her on what?
Bumble. It's my dating app that no one wants to swipe on me.
So wait, whoa, okay, so you haven't been swiped on Bumble yet?
No, let's not get into that. It's not about that. It's like new. I just signed up. Who knows? Like, it's just for fun, testing the waters.
When you say just signed up, do you mean the middle of January?
I mean, actually around Christmas, but yeah, so we shall see.
That's awkward. Put some photos of your dog up there and you never know.
I already did, actually. There's a selfie of me and my dog on there. At Iggy Luna Instagram. No, let's get back into them. And I want to say I felt like it was a little bit of a filler storyline.
Oh, man.
How much this drama could have been solved on the plane ride there. Hey, can you just tweet that, like, you wanted me there, I couldn't go, you didn't want to take attention, boom, over.
Yeah,
let's not stretch it to Australia.
I couldn't remember if she had said anything at that time.
If
Kendall had said anything at that time, but I think instead of letting her sister get these awkward questions, she should have stepped up and said.
Yeah, also, you know, we're all, like, we've done interviews with different people. Would you ask the question of, oh, so, like, the lady on E asked that question? To me, that seems like an aggressive question to ask. You know that isn't true. It just seems like you're trying to stir shit. I'm not into that. Would you guys ask that question?
Well, it's an aggressive question on the carpet for the home network.
Yeah, that's
I know E Australia is different from E on here, but like you're all part of the same team.
Yeah.
If you're some random radio dude, yeah, you would totally come out with that. But if you're E, girl,
there's a level of respect.
Yeah,
girl.
If I was kind of like I would be the first one on the phone to calling network, being like, "What? Who is that? And what is she doing?"
Here are the questions that E should be allowed to ask in Australia when this happens. How was the flight over? Oh my God, how excited are you to be here? Tell us a little bit about your line. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you ask.
What are you going to do in Australia?
Yeah. What are you looking forward to do? And then the guy, are you going to hold a koala? Like that kind of crap. And then the radio guys, like that second interview that they did, those radio dudes, those are the people who need to ask the little bit pushier questions. I agree with you. That was weird. The other thing is Kendall said to the confessional at one point when they were getting their makeup done and Kylie finally confronted her about it. Kendall didn't tell Kylie this, but she said this at the confessional. Kylie's the one who followed orders. Like, I don't have a problem with her. She followed orders. Other people didn't. If that's the case, especially when you're, 8,000 miles away in Australia, throw mom and dad under the bus. Throw Caitlyn and Chris under the bus a little bit because they're not there. Let's be real. And be like, I'm actually pissed at them for coming. Thank you for not coming.
I mean, do you guys agree? But do you agree with her reasoning? I feel like maybe she was almost afraid to publicly say that, hey, I didn't want my family to take up the spotlight for me. Maybe that looks selfish. I honestly have no issue with it. I get it. It is like the cameras could be pointed to them versus her. But maybe that's what she was scared of saying, because I agree. Why wouldn't you just say that?
Well, and especially Caitlyn. And Caitlyn came anyways, and I guess it wasn't really a problem.
And Chris ended up coming too.
Yeah.
Well, if Chris got word that Caitlyn was going to be there, her ass was going to be in that seat too.
Because she already said she was going to be there, but behind...
It's
everything,
tough.
But
like, I go both ways. Like, I'm on Kendall's side. I don't think Kendall would have did anything wrong saying she just wanted to be her. But when you are mom and dad, and these two, as involved as they were with these kids growing up, because we've heard these stories, and you wait in carpool lines, and you drive them to soccer practice, and you drive them to dance, and whatever else they're involved with every day, and you're a part of it, and you help foster these dreams, when these dreams come true, you want to be there. I'm not saying you feel like you're owed to be there and it's some mean thing or whatever.
I think they're owed to be there.
But you want to be there.
Yeah.
You know?
If any of us had a moment like that, we'd be the first people to invite our family and best friends there, I think.
Yeah. But our family and best friends are not famous.
We understand the reasonings for it. Yeah. It came right around the time after Bruce, changed to Caitlyn and all that stuff. So yeah, it was an awkward situation, but she shouldn't keep it awkward and let Kylie take any kind of fault for it, especially Kylie. Kylie gets, like we said last time, I think Kim and Kylie get the most flack out of all of them.
And Kylie also takes it the most personally, and it's probably not coincidentally that she's the youngest.
Yeah.
But even Kendall, who's like a year and a half older, is like, why do you care what other people think? It doesn't matter.
Because she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it on that level.
Of just...
I mean, sure she does. But
when we see them, I mean, Kylie's glued to her phone reading the comments, and I honestly believe that Kendall doesn't even refresh a feed. And good for her. All the more power to you, but I think that is just and I bet Kim's the same way of like refreshing and being on that stuff.
And she's
I don't think Courtney is.
She's also made it clear that she loves her family, but she's trying to make it on her own.
Yeah.
So she
said that multiple times.
I have run a big Twitter account or two in my day.
Oh, for real?
And like big. And not quite as big as the Kardashians.
Yeah,
which one are you referring to?
It'll remain nameless, but sizable followings. My point is...
Can you give us a number
My
of the
point
following?
is 7-8 million.
Oh.
My point is, the mentions, all the stuff that comes in, when you first see them, you're like, holy crap. And you want to read them all because it's new, and because your own Twitter account, you might get like 30, 40, 50 mentions a day, and this is getting like 30, 40, 50 mentions like a minute.
Right. That's
and
crazy.
so you're like, oh my God, I gotta see this. I want to keep it up. And after like 2 days of that, you're like, I don't care. I can't keep up. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Now, partially, that's not your own personal account, so maybe it's different.
So it's not in reference to you.
But I just think Kendall's kind of on that thing where it's like, how do I even keep up? I don't care.
I mean, how many comments did their average Instagram get? It must be thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah, so how could you keep up?
And also, different personalities are different.
Yeah.
Some people can brush things away. Some people are more sensitive and take things more seriously. I know if I ever got to that fame, it would probably it would probably crush me.
Yeah.
It would take a while for me to grow thick skin and not deal with it.
And that's something like this family has gone one of two ways. Like that impacted Rob. Like it wasn't his situation. I mean, not necessarily, or maybe it was a small part of it, but that impacted him because we know he saw all that stuff years ago about his weight and stuff. And clearly that impacts Kylie, for Kendall, for Kim, for Chloe. They're like, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I think if you need to know that, and you need to know that about yourself going in, it's not necessarily like you're not in trouble if you're famous and you read all the comments, but you need to know how to deal with that. You need to have a system. And it doesn't sound like Kylie does.
But I also would want my family supporting me, and I if we want to put sides to this, I would go with Kylie's side, that I think Kendall should have kind of stuck up a little bit.
I don't know. I'm still Team Kendall.
Bold move.
Could be that Kendall did look amazing this episode.
Yeah.
All season.
All season.
But I mean, all season though, looks aside, because that's superfluous. She has kind of stood out as very mature, very non-Kardashian, and I mean that in a good way, not anti-Kardashian, but just kind of like separate from the monster, and really has become her own person with her own career.
Even her individual work ethic.
Yeah.
We've seen in contrast to other people, I'm not going to name them, Kylie, but it's like you've seen she understands this is a job. I don't care what the hell. We all leave things at the door and do our job here. You're not better than that just because we are all successful. We still work. That's why she's where she is today.
Yeah.
And I think she will see her grow, possibly to have a longer career than maybe even everyone else in the family.
And good for her for realizing that until you get to that supermodel status, that you have a very small window. And so you have to take advantage of it when you're 20 and 21 and 22. And if you get to a certain point and you're Tyra Banks and you're Heidi Klum and you're, whoever, then okay, you're obviously going to go beyond that. But those first couple of years are critical for this. And she's kind of looking like she's saying, okay, I'll do whatever I have to do for the next 5 years, and then we'll see where we are.
Does she have an app like everyone else?
This is going to sound so embarrassing, but one of my baseball writers just downloaded it, and he's been playing it all day, and he loves it.
So you.
No,
You
not
just
me.
say
Not
you,
me.
Bobby.
It's not
That's
me.
what you were doing under the okay.
If it were me, I would have led with that with a review of it. It's not, but it's the Kendall and Kylie app.
Yeah, it seems like the Kim Kardashian game from the pictures I see on Instagram.
He told me he downloaded it 10 hours ago, and he's already got 500 followers. I don't know if that's good or not.
What is?
But
I don't understand.
It must be like,
I don't understand.
Hey,
he's not in the
monetizing
target
it.
demographic. So the fact that he downloaded it, I'm thinking that maybe I need to take a look.
Okay,
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me.
Can we talk about first world problems really fast?
I want to
Having
fight
8
Nick,
houses,
but sure.
Oh my God.
and then other people buying condos.
No.
What in the?
I just talking about being like Kendall's not the Kardashians, or she's the opposite of the Kardashians. Kim was total Kardashians this episode, especially when she was right out loud saying what she was writing on the email, whether she really actually sent that or not. The fact that she said how dare you do this to me and my family.
Listen, it's entitlement is what it feels like. Bob, can you pay attention to us? Thanks.
Thanks.
It's
I'm sorry, are we doing a show here? My
For
bad.
you listeners, he's on his phone and not paying attention to anything. Yeah, it just comes off to me as like bratty, entitlement. I don't care how many millions in the bank. I mean, Kanye is already declaring bankruptcy or something like that, so he's in debt. Maybe Kim should not be buying every house and things like that. Maybe she should pay more attention to real life.
Real estate's not a bad investment. Let's be real. I mean, if you want to make some money, if Kanye is $53 million in debt and Kim needs to make some money for the family, that's what he claimed. But real estate's not a bad investment. If you can do it, this is what you have to do. I think it's ridiculous that Chris bought her place. And
I thought she was buying it for Kim originally. Is that what you guys would at
She
first
doesn't
thought?
know. They don't have any idea. None of them know.
I do
She just
want to
wanted to
say
redesign a condo.
Kim tweeted, or where was it? She says a couple hours ago, she says, "Wait, we're still at my mom's, but we have 4 other homes. I think we should still move into our Bel Air home." What? They have 4 other homes? I wonder if she's talking collectively since Chris did that one, but...
If you make money, have all the homes you want. I don't care. But live in one of them.
Yeah.
like go live in one of them or do seasonally or something. Like, don't have them all. And I assume, I don't know, are they renting them out? It doesn't sound like it.
It doesn't sound like it, no.
So, like, use them. Like use one. Is that wrong?
I mean, we've talked about this many of times, but why, if they don't want to be on top of Chris and everyone else in that household, just rent a condo or something small that you don't have to, take a lot of care of for the time being.
Do you think, let me float a conspiracy theory now.
Float it out.
Do you think, in light of what's happened in the last couple of weeks with Mr. West, that the reason Kim has been so hesitant to move out of Chris's house is because she doesn't want to get all alone and isolated with that crazy?
I don't think so, but it does shock me every statement that I hear, video I see of Kanye. I am more and more amazed that Kim is with this man.
Yep.
I mean, Kim has whatever flaws you see in her or whatever good things, but this man is someone that not only do I dislike him just because I dislike him, I just personally cannot get behind anything he says. I think he's egotistical, out of touch, and completely rude.
He's like narcissistic and bipolar.
And I'm shocked that Kim can stand by this man's side.
It's the second one you said, because Kim is also narcissistic, so that matches. Say what you want about the sex tape and the way Kim is famous and what she does and how she has no talent, and talk to me for hours about that, fine. One thing you cannot accuse Kim of is being inconsistent in her work life and so far in her personal life. She is the most consistent person to a fault. To a fault with how she deals with Rob and all that stuff, and she can't see him as a brother, but as somebody who needs to get his shit in gear. Like, she is so consistent, and then you have Kanye, who is so wildly, bipolar is the word, like, not diagnosed or anything, but just that kind of behavior of in and out and crazy and not crazy.
Erratic.
Manic. How if you're Kim? Like, maybe she balances it out, maybe at home it's different, I don't know. But, like,
I can't imagine
just on the outside looking in, it's like, how does this appeal to you just from an emotional standpoint with the ups and the downs? It's crazy.
I read someone on Twitter said that Kim must keep Kanye's phone away from him, and so when he does get it back, he like has to get everything out.
Don't be surprised.
I would not. Kim's the most polished. I mean, this family is a polished family. We know what they're gonna. They know what they're gonna say when they're heading into an interview. There's a certain amount of ways they're gonna respond to a question, and he's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
How does that pair? I mean, yeah, I guess opposites attract. I don't know. It's baffling to me. I think down the road we will find out something about them, the relationship in general. I don't know. That's
you got to think about Kourtney and Scott. We can sit here all day and say, how does she deal with it? But she does. And now Kim does have 2 kids now with Kanye, so it's not, you know, something you can just flip on and off.
Yeah.
And you can't blame this on the Kardashians. Kourtney and Scott were around together before the fame happened, and Scott's had problems for a long time. Lamar had known problems long before he got with Khloe, and then after they divorced, and then Kanye was crazy with the Taylor Swift thing the first time, way before Kim. So you can't blame this on the girls. You can ask the girls, maybe your character judgment is lacking in certain areas or whatever, or you get, you know, rolled in too quick and then you can't get out of it. You get too caught up in it. But my God.
Did you guys love Taylor Swift's response at
the Grammys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. We weren't.
I mean, I think it speaks for anything, though, whether she was kind of, you know, taking a jab at Kanye, which I'm sure the undertone was, but I think that speaks for a lot of things. So
here's the thing about Kanye, though. Because he's crazy, he will wear out his welcome one day. And he has. He has started to do it with people, just fans, like just people in general. He will continue to wear out his welcome the more crazy crap that he does, just generally. And if you're Taylor, who is at the top, you just had the biggest year of your life. You just had one of the biggest pop years with your tour ever. Now is like Adele's time and Beyonce's time, and let them have their time, and you'll cycle back in next year with your next album or whatever. Take the year off, win your Grammys, don't say a damn thing, don't tweet a damn thing, take the high road on it, don't act like he exists. Because at this point, we were talking about this the other day, I was talking about this with some friends the other day. At this point, Kanye can say that he made Taylor famous or whatever, and that's a lie on its face. But at this point, if anybody's making anybody famous, Taylor is so far beyond Kanye. And I'm no Taylor fan either, but Taylor is so far beyond Kanye, it's not even funny.
I agree.
So, you know, let's just look at the relationships. If you're Taylor, don't say a damn thing. You know, I understand the Grammy thing. I just wish she wouldn't have said anything.
I think it's a very human way to deal with it compared to a celebrity way. I know if I was up there, I wanted to be like, haha, you Kanye, like, look at me now, motherfucker.
I just hope she doesn't write a song about it. I understand it could probably produce a great song.
Oh no, but I
hope she doesn't write a
with
song
you
about
on
it.
that. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I mean, Kanye is like a troll, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with his tweets, and the best way to deal with a troll is just to ignore it.
True.
So
You do one of two things. You ignore them, or you make them look ridiculous on their face for what they are.
I don't think you can do that, though. It's like two people arguing at each other.
Yeah.
It's no point. You just ignore it. Like you said, Kanye might wear his out, because people are just going to start not caring.
Yeah. You just don't get any bigger than Taylor Swift right now. So after her year, you sit back and you say, I'm going to go hang out on a beach for the next 4 months. Then I'm going to write a new album with no Kanye diss track because that's bad business.
I don't think she would. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine
allowing her to do that.
But actually, I could. But I would hope she wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because whatever, just start write about people that break your heart. You make good albums when you do that.
And listen, let the awards and stuff
speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody was at the Grammys this week and somebody wasn't, and that's all there is to it, you know?
Boom.
I mean, and I'm no Taylor fan. Like, you do not have me in Taylor's corner by any means, but, like, let's be real.
I like that real talk.
Kardashians.
Okay, who's next?
Chloe?
Yeah, fine.
What was up with her smile? The whole thing they were talking about with her smile.
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
But then she asked if it was in reference to her possible
oh my God.
recent sexual activities.
How did she phrase it, Nick?
She said, do you think blowjobs can do this? What? That's what she said. I'm quoting her.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Really? Did I not? She didn't say that?
She didn't say that.
Nick, don't play dumb.
You're all lying.
No.
Okay,
she said it differently.
Oh, what did she say?
I'm not going to say it.
Okay, well, that's what I thought she said.
Anyways.
Who is this kid?
How awkward was that, though, that guy that asked about Lamar at the book signing? It was just awkward because he was doing it mid, like, taking a picture, and he's just, like, rubbing his little goatee.
If I ever wrote a book and became famous, and neither of those things, it's not going to happen, but if I ever had an instance where I was, like, had a book signing, I would change the way that I do it, and I would have tickets, like, not for money, like they would be free, but you'd have to get a ticket, and only like 50 people would get tickets, and then I would spend like a couple minutes with each person, because a couple seconds, this girl starts crying, and Chloe's like, "You're so pretty." Next.
Yeah. It's a system.
So awkward.
I agree. I know that.
You look pretty when you're crying.
I would feel so
going.
bad. I would want to hug every person. And I understand if you're Chloe, it's different, and millions of people are your fans, so it's different. But I don't have any fans. So if somebody came and asked for my autograph, I'd be like, I want to spend 20 minutes with you. You're awesome.
I think there's a natural progression to it. I think they probably felt the same way in the beginning when they had time. And then I think it does get to the point where it's like, okay, do you want to meet 10 people or do you want to meet 50 people? You'll touch 50 lives, whatever it is. Yeah. I agree with you. I've heard once of someone that just pre-signed all their books and they could just take those, even if it's just an extra 30 seconds just to talk with the people. But it's a weird setup. You're right. She was like, "You're crying. Don't cry. You're pretty. Goodbye." It's like, oh, okay.
Hey, I'm going to come see all you at the thing. Oh, but my bodyguards are going to stand right here.
Well, everyone was like also super aggressive, like grabbing up on her arms and touching her skin. Really? I don't know. I understand the fans and fandom, but like, there's no one I want to like grab up on their arms and touch. Like as a human.
This is a horrible thing to say on AfterBuzz TV Network, the home
I said something
of fandom. But I don't understand fangirling, whatever you want to call it.
Fanboy, fangirl.
Over anybody. Like, if Chloe came in here, if Chloe walked in this room right now, I would be like,
"Hey,
cool,
let's have some cocktails, Chloe."
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's
do cocktails with Bobby. But I can't imagine like the tears or the freaking out. Well, you guys are like Tyga and Scott in that one episode. You're just sitting there.
Wow. I thought Tyga brought a lot of the comedic relief. So,
does that mean I'm Scott?
Yeah.
Tyga also brought platinum blonde hair in that episode.
He also brought a lot of money. He was whipping money out of his pockets. So I'll take that too. Okay. Anyways.
But
I agree.
I just can't imagine flipping out over
like mindlessly like.
I don't get it. And I know we're not like we're not 16 years old, so it's different. Like age plays a factor here for sure. But when I was 16 still, even in the things that I was the most interested in, if it was sports or whatever, there's never a point where I would have been like, "Oh my God, I have to meet that person."
Yeah,
I don't understand.
know. Me neither.
And I think it's also different too, depending on where you are. I think in LA, a lot of people are kind of more numb and immune to this. You know, working on set, oh my God, someone's standing right there.
Yeah, you get desensitized.
Oh, he's normal. He's a normal human being.
Order your coffee, Nick Jonas is beside you.
Even the other thing is,
happens to us.
You meet a big celeb who's an unrepentant asshole, and you say, "Whoa."
That's actually one of the reasons why I don't want to meet some of the people that I'm a big fan of.
Absolutely.
Because I'm scared that they're gonna just like... That actually happened to me. I'm not going to call the celebrity out, but I actually got to meet them, and they completely were just not what I imagined. And I was like, okay, well, good thing your music It's not popular.
I've got a few of those, and I wouldn't have ever fanboyed over them anyways.
Yeah.
But now that I've met them, just on random occasions or whatever, and they were unrepentant assholes, I'm like, you know what? Everything you do, I'm going to make it a point not to support it.
Yeah.
You know
Like,
what would be kind of cool though if we met Kanye and he was actually really amazing.
I assume he is really amazing
I
in
would
person.
still lie
That'd be
and
great.
say he's an ass.
And there's nothing wrong.
Still lie. You're not getting Yeezys. You know this thing.
I know. I tried a few days ago and I didn't get them again. Moving on.
There's nothing wrong with fangirling. Like, I think it's interesting. I just don't understand
I don't understand it
I
either.
don't get how you can do it. So these people who are yelling at Chloe, if I were in there in that Barnes & Noble and they were like, hey, Chloe's going to do a book signing, I'd be like, well...
Time to go.
If I got an hour, I'll hang out, but like...
Yeah.
I think I get it. You're excited to see someone, but when you... Like, always think about the Selena movie when they rush the stage and the stage falls. It's not that serious.
Like, I would rather wait in line for the next iPhone than probably meet any celebrity at a book signing.
I would do
That's
neither.
not necessarily a good thing.
No, I know, but that's just where my priorities stand.
Anyway, yeah.
Awkward.
But
Rude.
I kind of do want to get Chloe's book. So.
I haven't.
Oh.
Haven't read it yet. But I got it. I bought it and Kim's book. Kim's
I
latest
still
book.
need Kim's.
Was this
Selfie
in between
book.
playing the Kylie and Kendall app? Or
No, I haven't downloaded that yet.
Oh,
remember?
Okay.
Bobby literally eats, sleeps, breathes Kardashians.
Yeah, I know.
And I still wouldn't fangirl over them. I
a lie.
got to read those books. I got like some plane rides coming up in the next few weeks, so I'll be able to knock them out. What did we miss? Oh, well, I guess we should talk Chloe and like Lamar and the hospital and whatever. But I mean,
That's a tough situation.
Yeah.
Making, even when you're in a good, healthy relationship, I'll say, even when you're, married and talking every day, I think it's very difficult to be that person, to make those choices for somebody
Yeah,
else. I know
exactly.
for me, I would not feel comfortable making those choices for anyone, let alone myself at times. I conference in my whole family anytime I have to make any big choice. So I really, I don't know that I would feel, that's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
can you define big choice?
Like
Do I
what
get a
to
dog
order
or
at
not?
Starbucks.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. No, but I mean, yeah, it's really tough. And she was there. She decided, we're not married, or we're in the process of divorcing. He's done all this wrong, but I'm gonna be there until I get stinky and they force me to take a shower. And I we talk about this all the time, but it just shows Chloe's dedication and loyalty. And sometimes, like she said in the interview with the Today Show, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You just gonna need to take care of it right now.
Chloe's lived a life. I mean, for as much as you can in this family that's had a very pampered existence forever, Chloe's lived quite the life.
They all have. That's one thing, honestly. Well, the majority, I feel, they've all gone through a lot of shit. I mean, take away the
they're
whole
normal
fame and
human
everything.
beings.
Right. That's the one thing I think sometimes some fans will sort of, they get distracted and don't see these people as actual human beings who can have illnesses, who can have, divorce,
Bad
whatever.
days.
A bad day, a good day. That's what, to me, I think that's why we don't see that whole fangirl thing, because we can see them as like a normal human. If I don't know, does that make any sense? Or am I speaking crazy? Okay, I'm gonna end it there. I don't know what else I'm gonna say.
Oh, you were halfway through a point. I thought it was good.
Well, that's my point. Is just we see them as humans and normal people, so that's why we can't fan. They're not on this pedestal that some people put them on.
I love the navel gazing going on in this panel right now.
Navel gazing?
Navel gazing when you talk about like how great you are, like about yourself. Never mind.
Why? We're not saying I'm
Why
great.
navel,
I have a lot of
though?
fun. I just said I'd wait in line for an iPhone. That's not cool or that's not amazing of a person.
Never mind.
And I didn't get Yeezys, and I hate Kanye. That's not all making them a good person.
Kim's baby, breech baby, C-section.
7-pounder.
Okay,
hold on.
Wait,
hold on.
what about when the chiropractor broke, or was like not broke her neck, but was doing her neck?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't watch those
The
things.
chiropractor?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand that. It looks scary.
Chiropractors.
I've been to that guy before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Is he like?
He's like one of the, if you Google like top chiropractors, and then he pops up, which I'm assuming that's why they went
Describe
to
him in 3 words.
Aggressive. I don't know. I hated it. I hated every moment of it.
Aggressive. Hated it.
Yeah, I would never
That's 3
do. I would
words.
never be or put myself in that situation again. I hated it. What he did to Kim, he like whipped your neck. I feel like he's gonna break me.
Chiropractic medicine is questionable, let's say, and some people swear by
There's a lot of anti people.
It's just a lot of people are going to comment on this and be like, chiropractic is the best. I love chiropractic. Like it has its small subset of people who are huge advocates, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. But this is celebrities. This is what they do. They do weird things with weird doctors, and they come to their homes, and then
I don't think it's weird,
To
though.
my knowledge, you can't change a baby from being breech or not. If you could, everyone would be fucking doing it.
No, I think they were just trying to relieve her body tension and stuff like that to make her...
I call that mumbo jumbo.
Exactly, but the feeling in chiropractic is if you can straighten out the spine, everything will get better.
Yeah, I went because I had migraines, and like, oh yeah, I can see that. I literally was taking an Excedrin the next day because I had a headache. And I was like, homie, hate to tell ya, got a migraine.
It does feel good, like, if I do crack my back. I have this chair at work, and I lean back, and it cracks my back.
Is it made for that?
More
No,
effective.
it just happened. I just one day leaned back, and it did it, and I was like, this is amazing. And I crack my shoulders all the time. But anyways, that's not the point of this conversation.
Knuckle crack.
Great.
Anyways, I mean, again, if you got the money to go to a chiropractor, if that's your thing, like, hey, man, go for it if that's you, but it ain't, you know.
I would just want massages all day.
That, I'm all for massage. I've always wanted to get acupuncture too, never did.
I'm not a big massage guy, but then again, they're not medical procedures, so,
right.
You know, I just don't find them interesting. I don't like people touching me.
You do or don't?
I don't.
Oh, I quite enjoy a nice foot rub. Those like $20 1 hour foot rubs on like Sunset. Wow, sign me up. No, it is the best thing. They do foot reflexology. Oh man. Let's talk about Kardashians.
Nick, what the fuck are you talking
I had a
about?
shot of espresso before, so I'm a little wired.
Hold on, no. Go back. Let's go back.
Reflexology, $20 for 1 hour on Sunset. What?
So you go in and you take your shoes off, and they massage your feet for an hour.
Yes.
And it costs $20.
Yes.
And if you pay a little bit extra.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
What?
There's
No,
there's
we're not talking about
there's
that
a
right
toe
now.
happy ending. No. Here's my other question.
No, sickos. This is a very
here's my other
reputable
question,
place.
because this will tell you a lot for the folks living in LA.
What? Go ahead.
Or who've been to LA a lot. This will tell them a lot. What's the cross street on Sunset where this happens?
Why are you asking me this?
That'll tell me a lot about how legitimate this thing is.
I think it's like, it's La Brea. I always get La Brea in La Cienega. That's not shady. It's a
That's
fine
Hollywood,
area.
man. Hollywood's pretty shady.
Whatever. That's why it's $20 for an hour. It's great, and I'm trying to give them business. I guess. Who knew? Maybe they'll give me a free.
You're just digging yourself like.
Yeah.
Do they wear like gloves?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Do they use lotion?
You know what they
Okay,
do that's
off
weird?
topic.
They put a face cloth over your face, which is weird. I don't let them do that.
Do they steal your wallet?
No. Okay, move on. This is a very reputable place. A lot of people go there.
I think we're about done with the show.
I feel them.
Did we get?
Scott's back.
Scott's back, but what do you want to say? Because we
Nothing.
knew we
He
got
was
out of
acting.
rehab.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no. Courtney said he's been gone for 30 days. I don't think that's enough time for me to figure out where I am. But hello,
Surprise, surprise, she's
that's
right.
not enough time for Scott to get better either.
Right. Yes, that is true. 100%.
And he came in the house exactly like Scott would have done 30 days before.
Yeah.
Walked in like nothing, in the fridge, talking kind of like whatever, making a big deal about the couch. Who cares?
I did think the pictures I see, and maybe this is just the press doing this, you know how some of those internet blogs can be. So there was certain pictures that they use of Scott when he's like out partying, and then I see this picture of him on a and it's got like real bags and like I'm like, wow, this dude has aged a lot. And then I saw him tonight, and to me, he looked like refreshed and and that's I'm like, oh wow, it must have worked. But you can't go off just like topical looks.
Exactly, and the media picks pictures perfectly for whatever they're trying to pitch.
And so does this show. I mean, he's getting made up. He didn't come out of rehab and walk in. He came out of rehab, went to a producer, signed a contract to come back or whatever, or a waiver for the next thing. Then he got made up. He got put into wardrobe and stuff like that.
You think the guys go through the same makeup stuff
100%.
on the show?
100%.
I didn't think
yes.
that.
They're not going to put you on TV without it. Even like Lamar and them, when they were on the show, they would do a little bit. They would do enough to like do
not be shiny
whatever,
or whatever.
Yeah. 100%.
But the point is, he came, whether he signed a contract before he walked in or not, he was very Scott-like still. And yeah, Courtney, 30 days isn't enough time. Like she said, she's right. Because 30 days isn't enough time for an addict to really get better.
No. Did you guys see, this is off topic, but it's not, but it's also interesting, and I think our audience might like this. Because I have a feeling there's a crossover.
Okay.
Did you see the big interview in Vice with Heidi and Spencer Pratt this week?
No, but
No,
isn't Heidi
I
on a
hate
new
them
reality
both.
show?
She's coming on a new reality show, but the interview was mostly with Spencer. Vice
hate
writer
Spencer.
went out to their place in Santa Barbara. They live in their dad's beach house. I think Heidi's dad's beach house. And they have almost no money left, but they're fine. Like, they're going to be okay, but they're not as rich as they were. But the stories that they were telling, but the whole time Spencer was talking about how he had perfected playing the villain.
Oh, he's so good
He
at
wrote
it
a
because
book.
you just heard me. I said
Yeah.
I hate him.
phenomenal.
He wrote a book. Him and Heidi both
Yeah.
wrote a book, The Art of Becoming Famous and The Art of Whatever. and I read this book.
Oh, I want to read it now,
and
too.
it's an older one. And as stupid as it sounds, it's very clever. And I would say at the time they wrote it was like cutting edge in a way.
Yeah.
Now I think we see it and we can recognize it. But at the time you were like, holy shit, if they were actually doing this and didn't just fall into place and now they're taking credit for it, then they knew what the hell they were doing.
100%. They made tons of money, and it just reminded me of Scott. And Scott has other issues outside of whether he's playing the villain. Like, playing the villain doesn't send you to rehab. There's something else there. But he definitely has that playing the villain thing down, and he always has. And sometimes it's kind of the likable villain. You know, he kind of like mixes the villain with like Deadpool, to give a really like recent example of somebody who's kind of sarcastic and caustic. But he has that play the villain attitude, and he did it again tonight, and it was a little too malicious. But I could see the angle. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I read the interview and I was like thinking about it, but I could see the angle, and it was like, Scott's back. It was just too malicious.
I don't know that he plays the villain intentionally. I don't think I'd ever say that about him. I do think that he naturally has some of those characteristics that aren't just commonly like, you know, you're walking in and your girlfriend and your child's grandmother, you know, Chris is in the kitchen like trying to talk to him, and he basically flat out ignores her multiple times.
Yeah.
That's just disrespectful. So whether that's a villain or not, that just is a testament, I think, to him and his personality, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, we obviously hope he is clean and does get better and it lasts. Because I'm also over that story.
We already know that it doesn't, though. I mean, look, we've seen in the fall and the winter and over the last couple months.
Didn't we just see them photographed together again somewhere?
No, we've seen pictures of him last week or 10 days ago or something, pictures of him partying again.
Nah.
Like, you gotta, like, if you're gonna do it, you have to do it all the way. You gotta get out of it. You cannot do promotions. You cannot do that. You have to find another way to make money. Like, I'm sorry. Or else, until then, you know, who cares about my opinion? But until then, I can't take it seriously. And no one should. If you're Courtney, you should not take him seriously until the day he says, I am no longer doing club promotions. Because that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
You put yourself in this situation, you go to Vegas 3-4 times a month or whatever it is. What do you think's going to happen?
Agree.
It ain't rocket science. Okay, season's over. No teaser for next year. Were you surprised?
No. I don't think they filmed that far out in advance to even have any storyline of any of it.
I'm sad we still haven't seen Baby West.
They're drawing it out, man.
Saint. There you go. I couldn't think about it.
They're just drawing that out.
Why?
I don't know, because they want viewers. They want somebody to come back for season 12.
It was quite a lame. I don't know. Man. I just thought it was a lame. I mean, I know it's reality, so they can't really construct a great clip. But I mean, I was like, oh, she's having the. That's the whole sense of like we already, since it is behind and we are so in touch, we already knew. It wasn't like, kids on your baby right now. Like, okay, cool. Water broke.
Last week was better. Last week would have been a better finale, with Chloe getting drunk at Chris's party.
Yeah, a big event.
A whole family thing. Last week, the Victoria's Secret show, like leading up into that, they could have done it a little bit more. Last week would have been a good finale.
Do we have any alternate shows of their brand coming on next?
Caitlin's coming back.
Oh, I Am Kate comes next.
Coming back.
I ain't doing that show again. I did that after show last time. I will not be back for season 2. No, thank you.
Okay. And on that positive note, feel wrapped up with them. I don't have much more to say about the Kardashians.
Any predictions you guys want to make? Any news and gossip you want to share? Black China and Rob, thoughts there?
I just started following Rob on Snapchat.
How is it?
I think
it's Snapchat that I follow, or it's Instagram. No, it's Snapchat because that's what's new. And he also, I think, Snapchatted him and her together. So it doesn't fit. I didn't really, but like I was kind of like, is it really happening? Is it not?
Well, picture came out. Was it this week? I get my days confused. I think it was this week that the picture came out of them PDAing it up.
Ugh.
Making out in public.
Gross.
I'm just gonna refrain.
That's like cool.
Ow.
It's like cool.
I just feel like I was here with Kylie. Wow.
I just feel like it was cool.
Okay.
All right, that's it. Social media. Frankie, where can they find you?
Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA.
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat at Nicholas Grava.
Twitter at Bobby DeMuro. Another season come and gone.
Don't end it like that. Give him some more pep to our audience.
I don't know what else to say.
That was good. Keep going with that one. Go with that energy.
We'll be back in another few months whenever the hell they come back. We don't know yet. It'll probably be June or something because they never do the full year off. Yeah. But whenever it is, we'll be back. Sterling will hopefully be back if we let her out of the dungeon. Thank you guys for joining us all year. On behalf of Nick's dog, we wish you a very wonderful spring and summer, and whenever we see you, we'll see you. In the meantime, at XOXOCESCA, at Nicholas Grava, and at Bobby DeMuro. You guys can follow us on Twitter and tweet us all summer long so we can keep up with you. We would love that. That's it, guys. Thank you for another good season. That's
Bye,
it for us.
y'all.
We'll see you when we see you. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.